Hey guys, welcome back to Deeper the Most. I'm your host DJ.
And I'm your host, Sam.
And today we have a pretty interesting case. Well, not even a case, but a pretty interesting topic.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, pretty much a topic.
I
don't know why I just said all that, but yes, a topic.
So what are we looking at today?
So today's topic is technically the first ever documented demonic possession. So, this is the possession of Elizabeth Knapp, and this is dated back from 1671 to 1672, and that's really old. So, yeah, it's pretty much like the first ever.
Didn't even have this.
I mean, it is. It's really old. By the way, we're eating some really good pizza by...
It's from My Pizza.
Yeah, it's really good. Customized by yours truly. So, we're going to go ahead and move on to the current events.
So, guys, you ever wonder, like, how we would get this far? So apparently...
Get this far in what sense?
Humanity. And as a whole.
Like society?
Yeah.
Okay.
So apparently, there are these dead scroll fragments that have been found by Israeli archaeologists. It says they were dated back to roughly 19,000 years ago during the Jewish revolt from Rome. It says they offer a rare view into early Christian life and humankind, which is kind of cool. Because it's like, what?
I just want to point out how in my notes in the last episode, you were making fun of me because I said day, evening, and you put from.
I mean, it's not day evening though.
But it's from.
But it's not day evening. But I get it too.
We just sitting here eating. Okay, keep going. Go ahead.
A dozen of the fragments of the Dead Sea Scrolls, as they're called, were uncovered after nearly 2 millennia. The pieces of parchment are small, some are minuscule, but they're big enough to draw wisdom from, according to Dr. Orrin Abelman, who let the whole thing out. These are the things you are to do, he quotes from one of the fragments in Greek text.
Why is everything in Greek?
It's weird, huh?
Like, literally, everything traces back to
Greek.
Yeah. Interesting. What if they just started it all and we don't know?
Could have been. Speak the truth to one another. Render true and perfect justice in your gates, and do not contrive evil against one another. And do not love perjury, because those are things that I hate, declares the Lord. So that's what you got from one of the fragments.
So just very biblical.
Yeah.
Interesting. We have a SpaceX astronauts. SpaceX launches Falcon 9 into orbit from the Kennedy Space Center in Florida.
And that was, I want to say, last Friday.
Okay. Cool. Damn, so that's pretty recent. That's awesome. I wonder if it was like a big thing.
I don't know, because the way he seems really nonchalant whenever he does these type of things. So I don't know. Elon
doesn't make a big deal out of it.
Yeah.
He's like, this is what we should be doing. This is regular.
Right.
It will be following the 2-man test flight from May and the 4-man mission that took place in November. So those were 2 launches that took place prior to this recently?
Yeah, those were the most recent.
Were those failed attempts or were they successful?
They weren't failed. They were successful because they made it to the space
That's cool.
station.
Okay.
Yeah, they ended up making it to the
So
space
hopefully
station.
this one's successful too then.
Hopefully. I don't know what they're doing up there, but hey.
Well, I've been seeing a couple of snippets in the news recently about the rover on Mars, and they've been getting like new pictures and new snapshots.
Well, that's cool, but I think these guys are actually going to the space station, which is like on the moon. So let's get into the backstory of this whole situation. It took place in Groton, Massachusetts in 1671 to 1672 in the Massachusetts Bay Colony. And it was documented by Samuel Willard, who was a Puritan preacher. Puritans were English Protestants who tried to purify the Church of England.
If you didn't know.
If you didn't know. About Liz. She's 16 at the time of her possession, and she's the daughter of a farmer and a servant in Willard's home. Mm-hmm. So she's like handmaid?
Not a handmaid. Literally like just like a servant. But back in this time, having servants was quite normal. And I think typically children were servants. So she was one of those.
That's kind of weird.
It is, yeah. And this whole story is weird. It's really crazy. So you guys are in for a treat and a wild ride today. And we've got like a lot of information and stuff to cover. So let me just take a deep breath. Liz's possession has striking similarities to those who are seen in Salem, which actually happened 20 years after Liz's possession. So Liz's possession was pretty much like the first ever seen, like
the catalyst of
that type of behavior. Yeah, that was not common. Like nobody's ever seen that before. But in Salem with the witch trials and everything, like those types of behavior were kind of similar with the things that were going on in Salem as opposed to what was going on with Liz. So Liz's case created insight into Puritan life and society, along with letters Willard had sent to the Puritan minister, and the Puritan minister was Cotton Mather.
Cotton?
Yeah, that's a weird name.
What?
I actually kind of like it. Cotton.
I don't think
that's
kind of
cute. Name. I know, but well, not for a guy, but I'm saying like for a girl would be cool. Cotton. It's cute. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and get into the possession. Side note, Willard was widely known for his sermons on damnation and obedience to God. So he was already used to this. This is, well, I don't want to say used to it, but he knows about these types of things. So it just wasn't completely new to him. Like, he knew how to address the situation. He knew how to spot it out, and he did. So, upon Liz serving in his home, Willard noticed she was starting to show signs of demonic possession. Willard was very careful, scientific, and thoughtful with this situation, which was actually really rare back then. This was like 17th century Puritan New England, and things were not the way
like that back then.
They are today. That's crazy. And honestly, I don't even know if demonic possession still exists today. I don't know.
Yeah, they do.
Oh.
They're not as, widespread.
It's not as popular as it used to be.
So, in the early stages, Willard called in a medical doctor on multiple occasions for various concerns. Due to nothing coming of her behavior, Willard declared that Liz was indeed possessed.
Boy, was he right.
Right. From what we get into, from what I've read up on this, it's pretty interesting.
Oh, yeah. It's crazy.
Through her possession, he would write notes in his journal constantly. Yeah, that's how you know.
He was obsessed. No, that was my throat. Leave me alone.
Willard meticulously kept track of Liz's daily routine, actions, and her behavior from night one of her showing signs, which was October 30th, 1671.
Kind of convenient, right? The day before Halloween. And that's funny, because that's my grandma and your brother's birthday.
Yeah, that's cute.
It is. Well, it's kind of scary, but cool. Yeah. It's a cool little fact.
Speaking of which, we probably have to get into like the history of Halloween at some point. I'm down.
That would be fun. We should do that on Halloween.
I'm down for that.
Yeah, definitely.
So here's how he spotted the transition. Willard stated that Liz first began to complain of random pains throughout her entire body. He noted that she would grab certain body parts out of pain, such as her leg, breast, or neck. She would also yell out particularly about strangulation.
Yeah, that's scary. Just imagine. Just imagine. Like, seeing that in person, like, I've already seen movies that involve like exorcisms and whatnot, and that stuff scary on screen. But just imagine being there and seeing it in person.
But that shit
crazy.
Would be wow. It'd probably freak him out. He'd probably stand there like, dude, what the fuck?
Right. Okay, so the details continue. Liz would go through emotional outbursts, sometimes laughing hysterically, weeping, or screaming out. Hell no. Hell no. Like, no.
Because why are you screaming?
Just, like, I don't know. It just sounds like something out of a nightmare. And it is. I'm sure it is.
Gotta be.
So, as the possession progressed, she started having hallucinations, which, of course. On several occasions, she claimed to see 2 people walking around her. She also recalled seeing a man floating around her bed at night.
The Babadook, ain't it?
I swear to God, something. But that don't sound good. That don't sound right at all. No. Like, that's not okay. That's too much going on. Like, what would you do if you were Willard?
Leave? Fuck that. Like, I don't have to listen.
You gonna leave your own home with your whole family?
Yep, fuck them.
Just because of your servant is acting weird? Who? I'm just gonna kick her out.
Nah, she might be dead. We might have to kill her. Cause, like, listen, she a little strong, a little possessed. I ain't got time to be...
Well, he didn't know yet.
You finna figure it out.
He had an inkling, though.
That inkling was pretty strong.
Yeah, it was. She would typically break out into a fit, particularly at night, and she would convulse on the ground. Once again, no, I'm not doing it. That's when she don't have
to just get out right there. Cause like,
yeah, I'm not doing it. What?
You just got to sit her outside or something.
That's just too much. Have you ever had to, like... Have you ever seen anybody, like, just break out into convulsions?
The closest thing I've seen...
Like a stroke or something, or...
The closest thing I've seen that, I've seen, like, my uncle have a stroke. Well, not a stroke, but, like, have a seizure before. And, like, you know how they'll, like, start foaming at the mouth and shit?
Like, that sounds so scary. I couldn't.
Yeah.
I don't even know what I would do in that situation. I would be scared. I know you're not supposed to touch them, right?
The best thing for them is like either elevate
lay them on their
turn them on
side.
Their side. Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. But I thought you're not supposed to touch them.
I mean, you're honestly not.
Because it can make them.
In order to like save them, if you don't want them to like suffocate or choke.
But at least put them on their side.
Yeah, turn them on their side at least.
Okay. At one point, Liz had tried to throw herself into the fireplace, y'all. The fireplace.
Fuck it, let her burn. She knows.
Like, whoa. Willard notes that on the first Sabbath day, aka Sunday, the day of worship, after the symptoms, Liz became violent. So, at this point, Liz was able to leap at inhumane heights and distances, as well as contort her body to the point of her needing 3 people to hold her down and control her at once.
See?
That's literally, like, not even human anymore. Literally. Like,
you don't have to kill her. That's
the only way. So during her fits, she would often scream out the words, money, money, sin, and misery.
Yeah, I knew you was going to do that shit. When I seen this shit on the slide, I said, she going to do it in that stupid ass little voice. And here you go. And here you go.
How else do you say it? Money, money, sin, and misery.
I could just see her little eyes just beating.
Oh my God, just on the bed. Yeah. Wildin'.
With her ass out.
No, it ain't gotta be like that. No. On the night of November 2nd, 1671, Willard documented that Liz made a confession of meeting the devil. The claims are prominent in most possession cases to date. So that's what you expect when it comes down to these types of things.
Oh, God.
If it is demonic possession, if that's truly what it is, then yeah, of course,
at this point,
something of that sort is gonna go down.
The thing about it is, at this point in time, like, nobody knew, like, the extent of, like, mental illnesses and nothing. So, to them...
not in the 17th century.
Yeah, it's that for them. So, technically, it is demonic possession in their eyes, because they don't know anything else.
I mean, I'm sure that's what it was, though, because that sounds very inhumane.
Yeah, sounds a little...
Like, what else would it be?
Right.
What else can you crack that up to be,
that
like, honestly?
Like, tastes like cigarettes.
Baby, this ain't about that. Stop. I'm still eating mine. Damn. You want to eat the strawberry one too?
You doing too much.
Okay. Now we're going to go ahead. No.
We come to the point now where we're going to take a minute to thank our sponsors. See you soon.
If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. It's free and it's easy to use.
There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast straight from your phone or computer, making it the best user experience around.
Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more, making it so you don't have to upload to each individual platform.
And the best thing about it, you can make money straight from your podcast with no minimum listenership.
It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place.
So please, download the free Anchor app or go to Anchor FM to get started. And that's Anchor.fm, spelled ANCHOR.FM.
So what are you doing? Download the free Anchor app now.
The nightmare continues. Liz said that for 3 years the devil met with her, promising her money, youth, ease of labor, and the ability to see and travel the world. Oh, she fell for that.
Sounds too good to be true to me.
She fell for that. She also stated that the
she
devil...
was 16. What do you expect?
She also stated that the devil had presented her with a book of blood covenants.
And if you don't know what a covenant is, it's an alliance. And a blood covenant would be an alliance with blood involved.
Basically, like cutting your thumb or whatever open and like placing it on a book or whatever. Yeah, stuff like that.
That type of deal.
The book was full of young women's signatures. Liz also said how the devil had tried to get her to kill herself and others. The victims included Willard and his family. See, this is what I meant. Like, they gotta go. She gotta go. Like,
she had a vendetta.
Yeah. Although this was a request, she couldn't find it in herself to follow through with the devil's commands.
So deep down, somewhere, she was still in there.
I mean, yeah. Morals are a very strong thing, so even if you are...
Even at 16, she probably has some strong beliefs. And she was like, I know these are good people.
Especially at that time, like during the Puritan era. Like, yeah.
Her effects kept getting worse. So, apparitions of the devil and other demonic spirits, along with more outbursts, continued until the night of November 28th. And, it pretty much is domino effect at this point. Like, things just keep... Sorry, y'all. We live in the city. Is somebody shooting?
Yeah, somebody shooting.
Are you sure that was a gun? Huh, babe?
Yeah, that sounds like a gun, bro. Like, that doesn't sound like...
Well, sorry, y'all. We live in the city, so, things happen.
All the time, bro. Be safe out here.
Yeah. On the night of November 28th, Liz started a raging fit that lasted for 48 hours. A 2-day fit, yo.
Tripping.
What?
Said was on that ass.
Just wilding for 2 days straight. No sleep. Yeah, just doing the most. So soon after, Liz was stuck in a catatonic state all the way until the night of December 8th.
Bro.
And damn, that must have sucked. For real. On December 8th, she made a confession that after being assaulted by the devil various times, she had finally decided to make the pact with him and allow him into her bed with her. And I don't think she should have did that. Honestly, we're trying to be lighthearted about this and crack jokes here and there because, you know, although this was documented, like, we don't know, we weren't there. So it's really a lot of passed down the line, he say, she say, from the 17th century. Mm-hmm. And right now we're in the 21st. Mm-hmm. Crazy. That's like 4 centuries ago. So, out with the old, in with the new, okay?
They gotta apply to this situation.
According to Willard's journals, all throughout December, she would go in and out of violent fits, each one getting worse than the last. Like I said, domino effect, it just kept going. It just kept rolling like a snowball.
And they just keep allowing this. Like, why is she not dead yet?
Well, at this point, he was like, "Oh shit, I got to do something about this." You know, like I can't just
let it keep going.
Yeah, no, not with my family in here.
Right,
No,
kids and shit, wife
exactly.
And shit.
So at this point, Liz was talking in a strange, deep voice and made realistic animal sounds. Ooh, and that sounds scary too. But you know what? I've actually seen YouTube videos of like not normal, like not possessed people that make like realistic animal sounds, and it's kind of creepy, but
it's cool.
It's possible.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, Shorty was possessed though.
Yeah, I wonder what kind of animal
That's
sound.
different.
Willard also recalled that the devil talked through her body.
Ew.
I don't even want to know how, but according to him, that's what was going on.
In the aftermath, after this string of events, Willard stopped making entries and didn't pick back up until January 10th, 1672. In his journal
I wonder if it got too overwhelming for him.
I mean, I would imagine
he was probably like, damn, I need a break.
I would imagine so. Like, think about that. Just constantly going on for that long.
Yeah, and apparently, you know, she was living in his house.
Yeah,
like,
she's like...
day in and day out.
Yeah, just a part of the house.
Yeah.
And family and shit. In this journal entry, he says he met with Liz again. During this encounter, Liz confessed that the devil had control of her body at this point and was stronger than she was. She added that the devil took over her speech whenever he wanted, and this left her with no control over the things she'd say. On January 12th, Liz had another fit, hysterically crying and weeping whilst expressing a yearning for Willard's presence. Ew. She was like, Willard. I can see it. That's gross. That's scary. Yeah. The outrages continued late into the night of January 12th, as long as Willard provoked the evil entity. Willard ended up leaving her well in a fit. This left her speechless for 3 days.
Yeah, so it was for as long as he provoked the entity, and he only provoked it for like an hour and a half. And after that hour and a half, he left her speechless for 3 days.
That's a pretty long hour and a half, though.
Oh, well, yeah, I'm sure it was really intense.
Yeah.
Like, just for movies, yeah. Pretty sure that shit was wild. A little roller coaster of a half an hour or an hour and a half. After all of this, Willard ends his documentation of the possession case, stating that he'll leave it to those who are more learned, aged, and judicious than he was. And that was a literal quote from him, making this one of the first ever documented demonic possessions in time. Which is really cool, because he kind of made history.
Yeah.
In that world, you know, like people that are into that type of thing, and that, I don't know, it's more of like a religious thing, I feel like.
I mean, yeah. Yeah. But
that's cool. You're like, that's notable.
Yeah.
Like, dude made history.
The possession thing kind of trickled over into early 20th, early 21st when it came to like black magic and like voodoo magic. So it kind of like throw it up in that.
But I think he also should keep that recognition just due to the fact that he went about it the correct way.
Yeah.
Scientific, thoughtful.
Yeah.
You know, just detailed. Like, he did the damn thing. Yeah, if he was going to do it, he did it. He did it right. Yeah, he delivered. So the conclusion...
The Lord didn't deliver him. Anyway.
Stop. The conclusion. At the end of this journey, Willard had some ending realizations for the validity of the case. And these realizations are, you know, they make sense, if you ask me. So I want to know if they make sense to you. Just after hearing all the details of everything, go ahead. You can read.
So the first one reads, Liz's distemper was in no way counterfeit on the grounds that it was physically impossible to fake the circumstances. Which, honestly, after, like, reviewing the case...
I mean, some of that's kind of crazy. Yeah, like, how can you fake that?
How do you contort yourself?
No, but like jumping and leaping at inhumane heights. Of course, like how is that?
How do you fake that?
Exactly. Like, of course, that's real.
If she was normal, if she was just like normal, she wouldn't be able to.
No, like nah.
So the second one goes natural or diabolical. Due to the length of her convulsions and the strength of her fits, he believed them to be very diabolical.
And I can agree with that too. That's not something that's natural at all.
In any sense.
Especially with no underlying conditions that were ever noted of, and also never any previous, you know, history of doing this.
Or
like,
nobody
whatsoever.
else had done it or nothing. Like,
Yeah.
literally nothing. Out the blue.
Exactly. So, number 3 is, although outsiders were skeptical of the fact that the devil talked through the girl, he was surely convinced. And this is because, in the past, he brought up how Liz would speak with her mouth closed.
So that's the devil speaking through her type deal.
Through her body, probably.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like maybe the convulsions and, like, leaping around and shit was also him talking through her body.
Could have been.
Her throat would swell up as well, like a balloon. And I had to make a note of this because you guys, if you haven't seen it, I really suggest you watch the movie Vivarium. It's really good. Did you like Vivarium? I know we watched it like at separate times.
We watched it at the same time.
We watched it together?
Yeah. Jesus.
Really?
Yes, dude.
I don't remember. You can't be mad I don't remember. Wow. It was a while ago. Anyways, Vivarium's a really good movie.
Okay.
What? Vivarium's a really good movie, and the fact that her throat would like swell up reminds me of this creature that's on the movie or in the movie, and his throat swells up like a frog.
About the kid, right?
The kid, yeah. I don't want to expose too much, but it's a really good twisted like movie. It's kind of a mind fuck, so that's the type of shit we like.
Watch it.
And it's really interesting too. It's just mysterious, very mysterious. But yeah, it reminds me of like that, and it's literally, it looks like a frog. Like, you know how frogs can bulge their throats out? So yeah. And the voices that he heard were clearly not her own. So, like, just factoring all 3 of those in, yeah, there's no way that that's humane in any sense.
Nope.
Just doesn't add up.
I would hate to see something like that, like, firsthand. That would be
That's what I'm saying. Like, he was living with this,
like,
you know?
literally living in his home.
Yeah, no.
He also had strong doubts about Liz making a pact with the devil. This is due to her being contradictory about certain stated facts. Plus, the details of her meetings with Satan seemed unclear and eerie post-possession. After the possession of Liz Knapp, Willard went on to give several sermons in the village of Salem during the witch trials in 1692. After Willard completed his final entries, what happened to Liz Knapp after this has remained a historical mystery till this day.
And that's a scary note to end off on. I wonder what happened to her. Just vanished. Just disappeared. Like,
You ever seen Drag Me to Hell?
Oh yes, I love that movie.
That probably happened.
Could be. I think you're right. But still.
Because, I mean, think about it. Like, whenever...
That's just scary.
Because, like, whenever you make a fostering contract, which is essentially what this is, like, an ordeal with the devil, like, that's the end result most of the time. Like,
yeah, that's true. You're selling your soul.
you
What do you
kinda
expect in the end?
Yeah, you kind of can't, like,
Speaking
get out of that.
of selling your soul, I want to ask what you think about Lil Nas X's new song, Montero.
It's not,
And the music video.
It's not a
What are your
bad
thoughts?
song.
Because it's very controversial, and a lot of people have a lot of opinions on it.
It's only controversial because people don't know how to... It's only controversial because people don't have their own mind.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
But personally, how I feel...
I think he killed it. I think he did a great job. I think it was creative.
I didn't get the answer.
I'm sorry, but go ahead.
Damn. Personally, I think it's just a work of art. It's just his art form. Like, what can you do about it? You're not making the art. Why do you have such a problem with it? You know,
And if you don't like it, don't consume it.
Don't consume it if you're not into
It's like
it.
Cardi B, people talking about she's ruining their kids. Don't listen to it.
It's not their job to teach your kids.
Exactly, yeah.
Teach your own fucking kids, and maybe you wouldn't have to worry about having shitty kids.
Yeah. But, yeah, I think he killed it, and it was really just... It was just really a whole play on
the
how
Garden of Eden and mankind and how that went.
Yes, that and how homophobic people like to say, like, oh, you know, gay people belong in hell, you're going to hell, this, that, and the third. Well, he did that. He went to hell in the music video, and y'all still mad. they're still mad. He did what y'all said, and y'all still mad. Isn't that crazy?
Make it make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
Can't make it make sense.
You can't. You can't.
So, along with that, guys, we have a couple of movies that we enjoy that are similar to demonic possessions or
included.
Yeah. So, my first one was The Exorcism of Emily Rose, and I don't know if any of you seen that, but I really enjoy it, and it's a pretty good take on the demonic possession.
Do you remember like a slight brief summary of what the movie was about?
Not necessarily brief synopsis. I don't right now. But
is it just the possession of like a specific girl?
Yeah, just one of those movies.
So your classic possession movie, pretty much. Okay. So mine is A Haunted House, and this one's a comedy. It's a play on the whole possession thing, but it involves it, and it's just a nice watch.
So
like
it's a satirical paranormal activity type deal.
Yeah, but it's good. It's funny, and it's an older movie too, so it's kind of like a classic at this point. In my opinion,
it hasn't gotten there yet. Give it a couple more years.
Okay, we'll give it a couple more years, but still, we'll come back to this a couple years later, and it'll stand true.
I hope. Because it was a decent movie. I liked it a lot.
Oh, yeah, I love that movie. It's one of my favorites.
And then the next movie we have is Keeper of Darkness.
I've never seen that either.
It's basically like an international film. And I love my international films.
You do. He's obsessed with K-dramas.
It's not even,
I had to expose
It's not even just K-drama. It's like any international film, whether it's like Japanese,
those
Korean,
are your favorite, for sure.
They're fun to watch because they put so much thought and detail into it.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm not shaming you. And the next one is The Rites. And I love this movie. Have you seen The Rites?
I don't think I have.
Oh, man. We're going to have to watch it one of these days. It's really good. It's got that dude from that one movie that we watched.
There's a lot of dudes from a lot of one movies.
Back in Georgia. We watched that one movie. It was a DVD.
I know what you're talking about. And it had the dude that played Hannibal.
The old dude, yes. He's in this, too. He's in The Right.
Oh, cool.
Yes. What's his name?
I don't remember his name, but
we'll put a picture of him.
Every time I see him.
If you're watching this on YouTube, we'll put a picture of him right here, right now, so you know who we're talking about, because we forgot his name. So your turn. Go ahead.
And the next movie is The Taking of Deborah Logan. Now, this one was actually on Netflix.
I've heard of this, but I haven't seen it.
It was actually on Netflix, and I had seen it. I came across it by accident, actually, because I was just looking for movies, and I clicked on it. And it's essentially about this old lady who is experiencing Alzheimer's, but it's a little bit more supernatural than that. She, starts tripping. I don't know if you've seen The Visit.
Oh, I was just gonna say that.
But it's similar to, you know how they would sundown?
Yeah, and they would go crazy.
Yeah, it's similar to that, but a lot worse.
Yeah, I saw the cover art for it, and it looks scary. Yeah. I kind of want to watch it one day too.
I mean, hey,
maybe tonight. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, so we have a couple of ending questions, and the first one is, what is the most crazy possession story that you know? It could be like a personal one, a friend or a family member. If
what, bro? What?
I just realized I'm talking about a possession, like a paranormal experience. Who the fuck experiences a possession on the daily? Okay, anyways. So what is the most crazy possession story you know? So it could be a movie or just a story that you've heard. Or, documentation, something. I don't know any other ones.
Shit. Yeah, I don't got nothing personal.
Yeah, no.
But, the one that I think of whenever this popped up was, I don't know if anybody's ever seen The Boondocks. You've never seen it.
No.
So you're not going to know. But, when Tom got possessed by Stinkmeaner and they were beating his ass, yeah, that's what I think about. Because that's what this could have been. But they didn't do that. And the second question is, what is your favorite possession movie?
The Right is my favorite one. It's just really good.
I'm gonna have to go.
Drag Me to Hell's good too, but that's not really possession completely.
It's more or less like
selling your soul.
I mean, they kind of fall in line. Though.
Okay, well then I would say Drag Me to Hell and then The Right, but they're both really good.
Cool. I get that. Shit. For me, I'm gonna have to go. Since you did 2, I'll do. Number 1 favorite for me is an absolute classic. It's actually The Exorcist. I think everybody's seen.
Oh
The
yeah.
Exorcist. So yeah, that's a given. That's a classic. But I'd have to say my second was.
Scary Movie counts too because it's got it in there.
Yeah, in a satirical sense, yeah.
Kind of like a haunted house.
Yeah. But I'd say my second one would have to be The Taking of Deborah Logan. I like that one a lot.
Yeah, I'm going to have to watch it then.
Yeah.
It looks good.
It's just like, I don't know, when it comes to like older people in possession,
it hit different.
Yeah.
The last question is, do you think possessions are still prominent today? And like we said earlier, not really. I guess it's still happening. I just don't think it's documented as often, and it's just not as popular to talk about anymore.
I wonder if.
And I feel like it doesn't happen as often, though.
Right.
You
No,
know?
I don't think so either.
Because wouldn't you hear about it? Like, this would be kind of interesting to hear.
I mean, also, but you got to think about the climate of the world.
Or the confidentiality of the whole thing.
Yeah.
You never know if you have to be...
You got to think about the climate of the world now, you know?
Yeah. Oh, okay. So in 2018, Catholic exorcisms were starting to gain popularity in the U.S.
Right.
Increasing frequently.
And that was on Halloween, 2020.
Including after the protests.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
Wow, so they're getting lit down there. So, guys, that concludes episode 11. Yeah. And Sunny Winnie is knocked out back here, and he looks so cute. So, we're going to show you the kitty cam really quick just so you can see how cute he is when he's filming since he's not in camera view. Just so you can get a sneak peek of him.
So, guys, this has been Demonic Possessions with your host, DJ.
And Sav.
Tune in next week to get
Deeper than most.